Alright, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rule Well, and salutations to the Akim around the world that pushes truth and sincerity. Now, I have a small video here, to talk about who the Most High enemy is, because people in this world still believe that the Most High enemy is Satan, when they don't understand that Satan, the spiritual Satan, is actually a loyal servant to the Most High, and they think that when the Lord comes back is to fight against the spiritual Satan. The whole Catholicism doctrine and the whole spiritual fight that was in the sky, and how to just pretty it up and make it sound good. It says there's Psalms 110. I'll start from 1. It say the Psalm of David. It said, "The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou at my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool." Right? It said, "Thine enemies thy footstool." No, it wasn't talking about fallen angels, as is teaching the Catholic doctrine, and from other doctrines that were branched off from Catholic. Right? The scriptures actually explain to you who his enemies are. This is what is Psalms 83, right? Start from 1. It say the song or psalm of Asaph, right? It say, "Keep not thy silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power." It say, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." Right? It said, "Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." It said, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." So you're talking about his enemies here, right? The enemies of our Adam here. Adam, our Lord, right? It say, "They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Now, I'm trying to remember when's the last time that Satan did come on earth and do something like that. I see who do that. It said the tabernacle of Edom, and the Ishmaelites. It say of Moab, and the Hagarenes, right? And the Hagarenes. It say Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek. It said the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. So you'll see all these different nations that he's talking about, even though these nations still are around today, but they will have different names, because Esau name over all the lands that did dominate after a period of time, right? During the Greco-Roman, you'll see that most of the places that used to be called one name in ancient times is now a different name. But the scriptures even explain to you here who his enemies are. You understand? Which are the other nations. Our scriptures say, "Wait till I make thy enemies thy footstool." Because when you go into Daniel, you will see that when the Lord comes back, he is going to destroy this kingdom and rule over all kingdoms. You understand? And he's going to rule over them with a rod of iron. So they are his enemy, and he waiting to come and take them down. But that time has not come yet. It's today Joel 3, right? Joel 3 verse 2, it say, "I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat," which means in Hebrew is Yehoshaphat, which is the Most High's judgment, right? "And will plead with them there for my people, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land." You understand? The Most High going to send his son back to destroy these nations and to take control of all nations. Those are the enemies that the scriptures refer to. But those aren't the only enemies, because there are different enemies you'll have when you come into this truth. It's Philippians 3 verse 18, and say, "For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach." And this refers to people who actually did come into the truth and was doing the correct thing and end up departing. As the scriptures say, that is 1 Timothy 4:1, it say, "Some will depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits." You understand? And when you come into the truth and you depart from it, to begin with, you started off as an enemy of the scriptures because you wasn't according to the Most High standard, and then you come and learn it and then fall off. So you once again become an enemy of the Most High and His Son. You understand? It say, whose end is destruction, whose power is their belly, because they don't look to the Most High and want to reverence Him. They just want to do their own thing. And whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things, because they're not studying the heavenly things that is to come. They fall off and went and studied things that not expedient or convenient for them, and they are also classed as enemies. All this goes back to the term Antichrist or anti-Mashiach, which is Christ in Hebrew. You understand? And the scriptures say it have many antichrists, because anybody who is against the Most High and His Son and what they want is an antichrist. It doesn't have any one particular person, like who does tell you, like that guy, he's the anti. Everybody who is against the Most High and His Son is classed as an antichrist, and they are His enemy. That is why He's coming back to destroy and take down these nations, and He's also coming back to destroy 2/3 of our people, because 2/3 of our people are His enemy. They wouldn't be His enemy in the kingdom, but they're His enemy now. You understand? And they have to be destroyed also, and that is the ones He's coming back for. Now there's Isaiah 14. Is Isaiah 14? Yes, Isaiah 14. You know, they like to use this scripture to talk about Satan fall from heaven and all kind of rubbish. Let me see what it say, right? They say, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?" You understand? Because this actually has not come yet. Because this refers to the so-called white man, which you know he's not white, he's red. But this refers to the fall that he is going to make very soon. They say, "How hast thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?" Because the word Lucifer goes back to what? Light bearer. You understand? And we understand that Yahushua Mashiach, which is the Messiah, He is the light of this world. But Esau like to say that they are the light of this world, which is why they call themselves the Illuminati, the enlightened ones. You understand? Because they make, as the scriptures say, they make themselves gods. You understand? They say, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" Now tell me where in history anybody can recall that Satan weakened the nations. It say, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God," because that is something Esau is trying to do. Always trying to send spaceship up in the air, always trying to do things to make the self look like they're on the same level of the Most High. "I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the side of the north." They say, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds." Same thing, right? "I will be like the Most High," because white people has classed themselves as gods, And through history, they even have other people, other nations watching them as such. That is where they get, when you see Jean Bourget painting, even putting putting their own image to try to make themselves look like gods. And they even have some of these niggas out here even looking at them like gods. You understand? Looking at them like it's superior. But really and truly, Jake is superior to them. It say, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. Now that hell isn't talking about a lake of fire, but that's the lowest state that they'll be brought down to. Because when Yahushua Mashiach, the Messiah, returns, he's going to put them in slavery. And they will be brought down to a very low estate from the estate that they're in right now, because right now they are the top in this world. Right? They say, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the side of the pit. It say, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Now it says, is this the man that did make the earth to tremble? Where in history did Satan ever make the earth tremble? People always used to be worshippers of Satan. Even people now today, if they're not worshipping Satan, they're looking down and they want to talk high like if Satan can't even interfere with them. It had no point in history anybody could ever say that Satan would make the earth tremble. But the so-called white man did. When he dropped bombs all over the place, even in Roman times when he actually came into power. You understand? He actually made the earth tremble. He deceived the whole world, and he did many things to the nations. He weakened the nations. All of these goes back to the so-called white man. Right? And did shake kingdoms. That is what he do. Because that is how he gained power. By taking these other nations down and dominating them. It said that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Because that is what he did. It say he made the place a wilderness and destroy cities. That is how he was able to dominate them. And he opened not the house of his prisoners. Because right now, Jake is still prisoners unto him. He didn't set us free. We still under his rulership, and we had to pay his taxes and abide by whatever law he make, or else we'll go to jail. You understand? And these are who the enemies of the Most High really is. These other nations, the 2/3 of we people who don't want to hearken, and Esau. And these are the ones that when he comes back, he is going to destroy. And who isn't destroyed is going to go into slavery and serve a point in time. Alright? And with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rule Well, and salutations to the Akim around the world that push the truth in sincerity. This is Yaraba from the Trinidad camp saying Shalom.